Hello and welcome to my new channel where we take old clothes and make it fashion. My name is Pierre, I'm a fashion designer and I want to inspire you to think twice before you throw away your old clothes. So if that sounds interesting, if you like DIY fashion videos and upcycling kind of stuff, please consider subscribing because I do upload cool videos every week and I want to spread the upcycling message over the world. It's another beautiful day in Berlin. The sky is blue behind the clouds. My hair looks greasy again and there is an invasion of construction workers. Again, they're surrounding the house. They're literally on all sides and they're making a lot of sound, noise. It sounds literally like they're grinding coffee inside of my head since this morning. But who said fashion would be easy? Isn't fashion easy? So let's try to find our chill. Okay, so if you've been following the Instagram fashion trends a little bit, you might have seen this kind of garments that are basically a patchwork of different kinds of knitwear with like contrasting stitching on the outside. Often they have like quirky kind of colors, quirky shapes. They basically look like a lot of fun and they're very suitable to do an upcycling project because you can use just scraps of fabric that you still have. It's silent! What do you all need for today's project? I'm gonna make a pattern of a garment that I already have. I picked this silver top that you might have seen me wearing a time or two. So you'd want to choose like stretchy knitted fabrics because then you get the nice body hugging result. But in texture and color you can get super artistic and creative and choose whatever you like. Maybe it's pastels. I choose for this quite funky color scheme like this toxic green, a little bit of mint green, cobalt blue, or shall we say Yves Klein blue. And I have this nice white jumper that has different kind of stripes knitted in there. And then you would need some pattern paper to take the pattern and a pencil and your normal sewing stuff like your paper scissors, fabric scissors and a sewing machine. I'm gonna use the Singer Ultra Lock today to make my super nice stretchy seams. If you have a sewing machine that can do a stretch stitch, you can also do it on the sewing machine. But I would say do a test first to see if it really stretches because you don't want your seams to break once you get in your garment. Choose a color of yarn that you think is funky with your project. I'm gonna use white today. But let's start with making the pattern. Let's get that shit out of the way. So I'm just gonna lay my shirt as flat as possible. And I'm gonna put the paper flat on there. Take my little dogs. And no, you cannot pat them. So take into account that you would need some seam allowance. Kind of pressing with my nails to feel where the seams are. Using my rulers to connect the dots and make nice straight lines. So now that the patterns are cut out, I'm gonna awaken the artist inside me and basically just draw lines on the pattern of how I want to divide all the different pattern parts. Let's get creative and feel alright. Stand here for 2 hours drawing lines, but at a certain point we just have to make decisions. I've been just learning everything about the 5-second rule by Mel Gibson. Mel Robbins, not Mel Gibson.
And now we know that you're a control freak and you're stubborn and you got all these excuses. You're a real pain.
That basically means that all important decisions you should act on in 5 seconds, otherwise your mind brings you in doubt again. And I think it definitely applies for design process as well. It can speed things up so much if you just go with your intuition. So these are all the lines. It got like a real artwork as you see. And make like a really quirky kind of tank top shape in the top. So I straightened the side seams and I'm gonna not really do side seams. I'm gonna glue them together and make pattern parts in the sides instead of like a straight seam like normally. I mean, if I would be a conceptual artist, I would be finished now. Unfortunately, I'm just a fashion designer. And number all the pieces so that I can still puzzle it together later, hopefully. 43 pieces. Wait, I have to make a picture before I get this all apart. So I just cut a few pieces off and it looks already terribly confusing, as you can see. As you can see, I added all these kind of little dots so that I also have some reference of how the patterns were connected. So I cut it all out and laid it out on the floor. Does that not look like a pretty kind of mosaic or something? Let's start cutting our fabric. I don't think I ever cut a pattern that is complicated like this, but look, it's a real artwork. Oh, and look at that pile. I can still make 5 more of those projects, so woohoo! New subscriber, thank you, Leandra. And I was always quite scared of the overlock machine, to be honest. I thought it was like some kind of higher wisdom to know how to change the threads. Turns out, even I managed to change the threads. Usually. Knock knock. You can just throw it under the machine and sew it normally and you get more like straight seams. But if you want this kind of ruffle effect, you have to stretch the fabrics underneath the machine whilst you're sewing. And then the seams will get more organic, and I think I'm gonna combine the techniques. This Yves Klein blue fabric. It's like a hand knit. Probably took like many days to make this vest. But it's kind of cute. I always kind of imagining an older lady probably knitting this in her chair. And maybe the older lady is not there anymore, but we still have her knit and we're making something beautiful out of it. So she can rest in peace. So yeah, here you can see quickly the difference between the pooling, which gets like much more quirky seams actually, and just the straight seams that look just more like that. I am done, and look at all this like cute little scraps of fabric in these fresh colors. I'm definitely gonna keep that. Maybe I might use that for a needle punching project or something. So voila, that's the result. That's my version of the patchwork top or the crop lock top, however you want to call it. I think it turned out so funky. I feel like Pablo Picasso was participating in the Tour de France and then used some acid and had a party. I must admit the sewing was quite a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie about that. I think if you want a bit more of a simple project, I would just recommend making a normal basic pattern of the top or tank top or t-shirt that you want to use. Make a patchwork and just cut out the pattern. Was the pattern perfect? Not really. So I had to make quite some adjustments later. Like I got quite a bit out of the side. I thought it would be too tight, but it was actually a little bit like whoa, whoa, whoa on my butt. You know what I mean? It was a little bit too wide. And I had to adjust the straps here to make it a little bit shorter. It was just all a little too big. The edge of the blue vest I used as the hemline of the top, like almost all the way around until here. And I think it's kind of cute to have kind of this really abstract work combined with some graphic lines, but also some elements of clothing where you would normally expect the hemline of a vest to be. And then I have this that I didn't cut off. Okay, I'm not gonna leave all these long threads hanging under my arms. I think I'm gonna make them a little bit shorter there, but I do like that here, for example, this kind of rough edges. It makes it so... But let me know, what is your opinion? Do you like this kind of tops? Do you like this trend? Do you like the colors? Or is this a little too acidy, too Picasso, too crazy for you? So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. And I hope that you already subscribed. If you didn't do that yet, do that now, because I do upload cool videos every week. And if you do any project inspired by my channel, or you just want me to see your upcycling work, don't forget to hashtag FashionRack and tag me on Instagram, because I would love to see what you are doing. And I hope to see you in my next one.